Hello and welcome, DCL fans. We're here with a Sword and Shield match, JimmyG versus SebbyVGC. Now, I believe Sebby is on the Phantom Thieves. Let me double check that. Yeah, Sebby is on the Phantom Thieves, so I got the sides correct on the thing. Anyways, this is a pretty big mirror match, honestly. There's a lot of similar mons here. Kyurem into Kyurem lead. Focus Blast immediately into Scrafty and his Life Orb Kyurem. So JimmyG willing to risk the tie and Sebby is not. So that tells you something about Sebby's Kyurem. It is not only fearing the Jirachi coming in, but also it is not Scarf or anything to stay in on an opposing Kyurem. Now a lot just happened there. So it looks like physically defensive Nidoking with Poison Point coming in on Lycanroc. Should be able to take a Drill Run after that close combat maybe. It'll be close, honestly. I'm not sure if that's a roll or not. Anyways, there is a bench Nidoqueen, which is why I was saying this is kind of a mirror matchup. There's the Kyurem, there's the Rotom, there's also the mirrored Nidos, and Nidoking gets rocks up. So that is actually very nice for JimmyG. These rocks are going to be really good pressure into this team. Not a lot of recovery, a lot of frail Pokemon, being the Whimsicott and the Lycanroc. So definitely some pretty good progress for JimmyG so far, but the substitute Kyurem has come out. Jirachi does come in. A pretty safe check to Kyurem, all things considered. Scale Shot does come out, considering it only 3 hits. But we do get the speed boost. So if this is Scarf Jirachi, no issue here, right? But usually Jirachi into Kyurem is going to want to be more Spadef, trying to take those Earth powers. So maybe this Kyurem can get something done with a Scale Shot Shadow Claw, maybe. But again, he can calc this, I can't, but he'll be able to determine if this Jirachi is Scarf or not. 14 into Rotom, that's a lot of damage. That appears to be more of an offensive Rotom, perchance, which does not make a whole lot of sense into Kyurem, I think. So yeah, we're going to see the Kyurem come in as a Volt Switch comes out. Maybe it's like a Scarf Rotom? I don't know. Iron Head doing 14 is like a crazy amount of damage. Considering it's a 4 times resist and Rotom Wash is generally pretty bulky just by running max HP. So anyways, the Lycanroc is in for another hit. Probably going to see the Nidoking come in once again, trying to get those 2 Life Orb hits and poisons onto it. Maybe a Sucker Punch. Should be able to deal with this Lycanroc pretty handily. You don't really have another rock resist that you are willing to switch in here. The Jirachi is way too important, so we're going to see a Nidoking here for sure, as Sebby does catch that with a Drill Run. So it would have killed earlier. He could have prevented rocks if he just went for it earlier, but maybe it's a roll he wasn't willing to risk at the time. I get it, you know. Sucker Punch on the Azelf, but the sub. So Jimmy is prepared for this exact situation. Now Lycanroc is probably going to go for an Accelerock to guaranteed break the sub. You don't want to deal with any like nasty plot on Sucker Punch. If he does have Accelerock, that is. It could very well just be Stone Edge last. Yeah, probably most likely Stone Edge. So if Azelf does have like sub Nasty Plot, he can just go for Nasty Plot here for very little downside. Goes for Energy Ball, catches the Rotom on the switch as it is Citrus Berry. So I'm really curious on this Rotom Wash spread. Is that like Choice Band Jirachi or something? Or is my head calc just off? Because there's no way it should be doing 14 to a bulky Rotom Wash. I'm not really too sure on that. Maybe I'm just tweaking. But this Azelf is behind a sub. Big threat here. Probably going to have T-Bolt. T-Bolt Psychic looks like the most... Actually, no. Flamethrower Psychic definitely is going to be an option. I guess you do also want Dazzling Gleam on this, so this Azelf does want a lot of moves, but it's definitely going to have Psychic. We know that for sure. So I'm thinking probably a Psychic or Flame is going to come out here. Whimsicott could Encore, lock it into Energy Ball, and then try to get a U-turn out into Celesteal. That could be a setup opportunity, but the Rotom Wash is at full, and you have to imagine this Rotom Wash is a dedicated check to the Celesteal, and the Whimsicott just goes down to a Fire Blast. So, looks like JimmyG is very firmly in the driver's seat. And honestly, Azelf can just sub here, right? Yeah, he does just sub. So this is kind of covering the Sucker Punch. And yeah, it is Dazzling Gleam, so no Psychic actually. 3 coverage moves. I figured this could be a possibility, but I wasn't sure considering that the Nidoqueen is on the bench. I figured you might want to hit that. But yeah, so he does dodge the Fire Blast on last Monstela, so not out of it just yet. Maybe a weakness policy. Oh, another miss. So maybe the Celesteela can start to get the ball rolling. Yeah, looking at it, this is like pretty fantastic for Sebby. Like, he got all the out he could ever ask for, right? A Scarf Jirachi would be faster than the Celesteela, could potentially trick it, lock it into a move, be it probably Flamethrower, and then Rotom Wash would be able to deal with it. Alternatively, if the Rotom Wash does have Thunder Wave, that's another option into the Celesteela. There's a lot of options for JimmyG, but we don't know his sets, so we're just going to have to find out. The Giga Drain does do so much damage, but a Trick does come out. And the Celesteela is now Choice Band, has to lock into, what, Flamethrower? I believe it has to be Flamethrower. Nothing else can kill the Jirachi, right? Maybe you bank on Jirachi not killing the Steela back, but no, he does just go for the Flamethrower, which means Lycanroc is going to be able to take this hit. But I'm not sure if it's going to be able to avoid the 2-hit KO at this point. It is a +2 Celesteela, and I'm pretty sure Stone Edge plus the Cellrock is not going to be able to pick up the KO here. So we're going to have to really see. Is it Scarf Jirachi? That could be great here for a little bit of chip, put it in Lycanroc range. You would go Lycanroc first, I think. Just prevent as many Beast Boosts as possible before you have to actually take a hit. Maybe Kyurem can live, but I highly doubt it at 68% and it's offensive set with Life Orb. Maybe if it was like Boots and still at higher HP, it could take this hit, but currently it's not looking too likely. Is this going to be a Celesteela comeback? Off the back of 2 Fire Blast misses from Azelf? Man, you hate to see it, but also I'm on the edge of my seat. You know what I'm saying? I think Jimmy does have to go Lycanroc here. It's the only way. It's like the best path forward, I think. Maybe you go Kyurem if it's a roll first, because the Lycanroc will probably live a +3 Flamethrower. So yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see, I think. And the Kyurem does come out, so this is telling me Flamethrower could be a roll on this thing, and we'll never know. It's a critical hit. So is this Steela just gonna have plot armor? Is this plot armor Steela? Is he the protagonist? Let's see. Gotta see a Lycanroc here. And you also have to be Scarf Jirachi, I'm pretty sure. And I'm not certain that's Scarf Jirachi. I think it might just be either bulky or what. I don't know. The Iron Head did so much. I almost want to say it's Choice Banded. Because Rotom is just a 4x resist. That means like a neutral, like no resist Iron Head is 2-hit KOing Rotom. Like that has to be Choice Band, right? It would make sense into something like Kyurem, right? A Choice Banded Jirachi. Yeah, you see Flamethrower does 65. Close Camp, not even close to putting it in a Cellrock range. So I think Sebby has this. Oh my god! Crazy game. Crazy game. Jimmy did deserve it, I'll be honest. He outplayed the whole game, and then Celesteela did dodge quite a few moves. Crit the Kyurem, which maybe could have lived, we don't know that. So yeah, deserved win from Jimmy, but certainly a roller coaster of an end game. Alright, that's going to be all for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.